I know that sounds crazy to some people, that Farrakhan is the voice of the bridegroom. But I want you to look, America, at what is happening. Look at the fires in Texas, the manifestation and infestation of wild hogs all across America, ravaging people's homes, terrorizing the children in neighborhoods. But worse than that, on the 31st, Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan gave a press conference warning America of a great quake to come. Now we find that in Revelations 11. When the enemies of Jesus, well, the enemies of this second olive tree, this lampstand, go to make their move because the truth is beginning to enter into more ears and hearts. There's a great quake in those little metallic structures that have been observed all over the world and recorded and posted on the internet, called UFOs, but they're wheels, they're IFOs, they've been identified. The American government knows their purpose, and it's written in the book of Ezekiel. They're described as being metallic in nature, and they move by the will of God, moving to and fro as a flash of lightning. But we have the governor of Texas ask the citizens to pray for rain. See, he wants the effect, but doesn't know how to accurately get the cause. You can pray for rain to bring the end to a drought that they claim hasn't been seen since the Dust Bowl eras of the 1930s and the Great Depression. Pray for rain to end a drought. Pray for rain to put out the fire. But that will only be a flood because it's flooding in Ohio. It's flooding in Illinois next to Missouri, the Black River. These natural disasters are going to continue and increase in strength because we have incurred the wrath of God due to our failure to repent, one, for the sins of slavery, Jim Crow, and what is going on now. I know many of this generation say that's ancient history and we can't be held accountable for the sins of our fathers. But that's not what Isaiah says in the 14th chapter. That isn't what Jesus, having a discussion with the Jews of his day, told their congregation. In the 11th chapter of Luke, 51, verse 51 and 52. He tells them this generation shall be held accountable for all the blood of the prophets that were beaten and killed in between the pulpit. He said, your fathers killed the prophets, and you build their tombs, thereby giving them consent for what they did. We'd have done the same thing. We have not repented. We gave reparations to the Japanese, the Indian. But the greatest sin in history, or the greatest crime, we as a people have a hard heart. We have not looked at the history with an honest eye. I say, well, that's a debt too great to pay. How can we be held accountable? Prison is the #1 industry. There's more prisons in America and prisoners than all of the earth combined. Why is that? What's the drug zone war all about? War on drugs. When we have DEA agents who have come forth and said they are bringing the drugs over into particular neighborhoods in order to get and convict black and Latino and dumb whites to fill these prisons. These are no more than tombs. Let's don't get too carried away. These are no more but tombs to house mentally and spiritually dead human beings. Open the tombs. It seems to me that the governor of Texas should have said, let us repent and make amends. Have the debate and discussion for reconciliation, atonement, so that by some means we may gain a reprieve from the Lord of judgment, the God of the earth, righteousness and justice, freedom and equality. So, briefly after this announcement at a press conference, mainly talking about Libya and the great quake that's coming to America, and I foresee tsunamis on the east and west coast. There's the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa. Volcanic islands. The geologists have warned that there's a fissure halfway across the island. Splitting it in half with all it needs is a great quake or eruption to make a shift, and half of a volcanic island will slide into the sea. That's coming. That's a gun. That's a weapon pointed at the east coast of America. Washington, New York, Myrtle Beach, Jacksonville, Miami. There's a wave headed your way. I say, if the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has the backing of the God of judgment of today, then surely some of what he has threatened America with will come to pass. And who will help us when the full onslaught of Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever name you know him by, the Creator, the Almighty, comes against us? Who is going to help this nation? Because when he unleashes his wrath in totality, 1 year will all be done with. 1 year, all the infrastructure will be destroyed. In 1 short year. And after that, it will be lit on fire. Read your book. It's talking about a physical destruction, a physical fire. People will be thrown in the fire alive. Alive. It's the God of the living. The man of 2,000 years ago gave us prophecy. This generation shall pay for all of the blood slain by the prophets. Well, we can say this. That did not happen. That generation did not pay. They're still waiting on payment, and they've already went to the grave. This generation will pay for all the hell given to those whom our forefathers have held in bondage, and we have yet to make amends for. We have been handed over an inheritance of death, an inheritance that will seal the doom. And your children and grandchildren, if you look them in the eyes and you tell them you love them, and you do not have the courage to inquire an honest investigation into this matter, you are sentencing them to death, a fiery grave. You can take it or leave it alone. It is the truth. God has visited America and is visiting America. The winds are blowing now. One line of storms after another. And you will find 2011, this year, this will be one of the most active and destructive hurricane seasons in history. In history. And it's not easy, it's not hard to predict.